So, you want to make scrap Orcust. Hi, I'm Jay here. Welcome to the Scrap Orcust deck list. Without further ado, let's get started with this bullshit.
Yay!
Yay! So, I'll briefly explain just like a quick thing of the card does as I go through it. First, we play 3 Girsu. This card's $20, and it sends an Orcust to the grave from the deck, and it summons a level 1 token. It's good. You run 3 of these because it's a starter. However, because your mom's calling. God damn it! Pretend that cut never happened. Yep, 3 of these. They're good. They're now contested for the best starter in the deck. If you check out my stream, twitch.tv/J here, eventually I'm going to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! With this deck in particular and show just a few of the combos and a few of the plays that you can go off once you know how to really pilot this deck. Continuing with Orcust stuff, we are running 3 Nightmare. Now, some people just only have this card at 2. This card is really good. It's genuinely good, and because of how many starters we're running, we are running in total 12. So because of just how many we were running, honestly, if you open one of these, it's not the end of the world, and actually it could help further plays, just making bigger, better stuff, just a better board to make in general. Moving on, we run 2 World Wand. This one you don't really want to see in your hand, but you always want to have it in your deck, and you just always want to be able to just combo it no matter what. So we run 2. It can be useful if you have one in your hand and you send the other one to the grave. You can just special summon the other, but that rarely comes up. You run 2 of this because it's okay in your hand, but you don't really want to see it. That is a similar thing with run 2 Orcust Symbol Skeleton, ignore the 2 different rarities. This you want to have 2 of. You just want to send both of them to the graveyard as soon as possible, after you set up a board, that is. And this one just helps recur your Din Girsu over and over. That's the main reason you run it. And then last for the Orcust monsters, we have 1 Brass Bombard. We only run 1 of these. You only need 1. But this is a really good card. As I was saying before, if you open up Nightmare and you can send this guy, you basically get a free Galatea. This guy is just good. Moving on to the scrap package, we have 3 Scrap Raptor. This card is fantastic. It's new, so I'm going to explain it. Basically, you can normal summon this guy and then destroy him. And once he destroys himself, you can search any scrap monster, and you get another normal summon as long as it's a scrap. So this guy we use to search. Basically, he's just another 3 copies of Scrap Recycler, which just is another Foolish Burial. So we essentially have 6 copies of this guy, and we have 3 more because, for some reason, they made this guy a tuner, so he can be searched with Scrapyard. So this card is just busted. It's so good. It's a mandatory 3 of, like Scrap Recycler, and a mandatory 2 of is Scrap Golem. You want 2 of these guys because of Scrap Wyvern plays, of being able to just keep summoning this guy and keep summoning Scrap Wyvern. If you manage to keep Scrap Wyvern in the field, that's very situational, but you still do want 2 of these definitely because, you really just want this guy in the deck. So you run 2 of them, and then also 1 Scrap Orcust. He's here just for occasional scrap plays. If you need another body on the board for a scrap, you have Scrap Orcust. He's also another tuner, also another level 4 for something I'll explain later in the extra deck. So that's all of the main monsters besides hand traps. Moving on to spells. For the Orcust spells, we only run Orchestrated Return and 1 Babel, return, says draw 2, it's good. Babel, it's the reason why you play Orcust. So, moving on, we have scrap stuff. We have 3 copies of Scrapyard. Search 1 scrap tuner from the deck. Not once per turn. If you open 3, you can just play all 3 immediately. It's fantastic. There's no reason not to run 3, especially with Raptor. 1 scrap factory. This is like a card you can sub out like almost immediately. However, if you're going first and you do open it, it is really good if you just play it and then you go through all of your scrap stuff because it's just special summons for you. It's really good. Like if you go first, but then you want to immediately sub it out. Also, it's a Terminator 2 reference. You like that? 2 cards that you really don't need. TTT, Triple Tactics. I believe this card is now going for like 110. You don't need this, but it's pretty good if you're going, especially if like you're going first. It's good if you're going second as well. You mainly use it for the draw 2 effect. If you get ashed or something, you can just draw 2. Maybe make up for it, especially because we have a lot of multiples in this deck. It's mainly to help with TTT plays and other stuff as well, just to help make sure that we can keep bouncing back. But yeah, this card's not needed. Yeah, if you want to run like anything else, go for it. I'd recommend maybe draw spells, but that's up to you. Then we have 4 1-ofs. Called by the Grave. It is a combo deck, so this occasionally helps. Foolish Burial, because every card in this deck is essentially a Foolish Burial, so we just want more. Monster Reborn. This is
my
mainly
favorite card.
Yup. It's mainly used for scrap plays, but you can use it on your Orcust monsters, but you mainly use it for scrap and more scrap plays. And then 1 Instant Fusion. This one sounds weird, but it actually is really good for this list, and I'll explain why once we get to the extra deck. So now moving on to the trap card lineup. Now, we run 2 Orcust Crescendos. We run 2 of these because we can banish them, and once they're banished, there's not really a good way to get them back, so we just run 2 just in case. Yeah, it's negate. So, it's searchable negate, so. And then moving on to hand traps, we run 3 Ash because Ash is good against everything, always. This card's just fantastic. Always run 3 of it in like every deck unless you really need the space. And then 3 Infinite Impermanence. This card's great. It's really good going second. It's pretty good going first. And if you are, so that's why we keep it in the main deck. If you know you're going second, in the sideboard, we are running 3 evenly. So you can just immediately switch this out with that if you know you're going second. But otherwise, this is fantastic. So now moving on to the extra deck. 1 Link Karibo because the token is a level 1. So just damage negation. Same thing for Link Spider. The token is a normal monster, and for almost every other monster, we need an effect. So if you don't want to make Link Karibo, then just Link Spider. Then 3 of the prettiest monster ever printed, Galatea. You always, always, always run 3 of these, no exceptions. Some people try to get away with running 2. No, you need 3 because turn 1 you summon 2, so you always need 3. We got 1 Long Girsu. He's very situational, but whenever the situation does arise where you need him, he's very reliable as well. Then another reason why I made this deck, because I pulled an alternative rare Din Girsu, if you want to zoom in on that. Alternative rare, I showed this off in my last video, but I pulled this from an OTS pack. It's so pretty, and it is amazing. And you only play one. You only play one Dengirsu. Some people are like, "Oh, you need two to like special summon more from the extra deck." You really don't. That's why we run two Symbol Skeleton. It can constantly recur this guy. You only need one. Now, scrap stuff. One Scrap Wyvern. It helps with scrap plays, special summon a lot more. You can link climb using this. It's really good. Just scrap stuff. Then one IP Masquerena. This is mainly used to summon Topologic. This guy just used to summon Topologic, then Babble effect into summoning Dengirsu to make sure that your board doesn't blow up from Topologic. It's just really good combo. Yeah, that's why you run IP, so that our opponent can't out it as fast. We got one Barricade Blocker. This card's just good. It defends Babble, so if you're able to summon it while maintaining your good board, always do so. It's just good. Then we have two staples. We got Phoenix and Unicorn. Yeah, just going first. Unicorn's pretty good.
I love this card.
Yeah, Phoenix is really good. Unicorn's good. Bounce back a monster. Destroy, spell a trap. It's just good. So now we come to the reason why we play Instant Fusion. So this deck struggles with some removal. It has Dengirsu, obviously. However, it does struggle with some removals. So, as a way to just remove two immediately, non-destruction, we run Thousand Eyes Restrict, if you can zoom in on that. One, run copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, summon it, you steal a monster, and then we also run one, this guy, Anima. That's how you pronounce it.
Relinquished Anima.
Yep. And basically, for this guy, you steal a monster from your opponent, and then you can either go into Link Karibo, or if your opponent has another monster that this guy can point to, you summon this guy, and you take that other monster. This is just good. It's a really good combo. Highly recommend. Very underrated. Your opponents don't really expect it. And just to go through the sideboard real quick, we run Gamma and Driver. This one is whenever you want to take out Scrap Factory, so you have a third, and then taking out probably Infinite Impermanence, maybe Ash, depending on like what matchup. Those are the ones you mainly want to take out. You can take out Scrapyard, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then you play 3 Droll. This is because like Tri-Brigade kind of flops a little. Not really, but... And then Drytron is just dead against Droll. So it's good against a few things. 2 Sphere Mode, because again, we struggle with huge removal stuff. So this just takes 3. You only run 2 of it because it's not going to be often that your opponent has like 3 monsters, or you don't really want to see it too often. You don't want it cluttering your hand, but it's good otherwise. Then 3 Twinnies. It's really good for spell removal. I prefer this over Cosmic Cyclone, at least in this deck, because this is multiple spell removal, which our deck also struggles with, while also setting up your graveyard with the discard. So that's just good. And then, as I mentioned earlier, if you know you're going second, evenly matched, it's just really good, especially against like Dragoon boards. You always want to have this in the sideboard. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you want to see this deck in action, check out my stream at twitch.tv/jayhir, spelled JAYHR3. It's not going to appear up here. I'm just acting like it is. And I hope you all have a good day. Peace.
Yay!